What are we jamming on now, Jay? What are you jamming on now?
First of all, Beat Saber, baby. This game, so much fun. I feel like I got introduced to it when you were up here for my birthday before the pandemic, at GameWorks or what? Yeah, GameWorks, and it was a blast there. And so since we're now Oculus into the Oasis pretty regularly, I figured it's time to get it on my own. And yeah, it's a blast. Like Zion's been playing with me, such a fun game to pick up and play without heavy time commitment, which is important these days as a parent, working adult. You don't always have the time to just dive in for hours. But it's addictive for sure. Do you have it as well? Have you played it?
I've not. I still haven't played it now. Yeah,
Oh.
I keep my life a barren wasteland of commitment just for this very purpose, so I can't dive in for 3-4 hours at a time.
Well, you would get lost in this game, man. So I like for somebody who loves music, it's great. It's fantastic. But yeah, everything else I've kind of just dabbled in. But I will say, I picked up Psychonauts 2 through Xbox recently, and I knew that was a game that was internally heralded. People were looking forward to.
I hear about it.
It's
I hear the word a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like a platform adventure game with these not cartoony characters, but it's fun artistic style where you're using psychic powers, and that aspect is cool. But there's also like a mental health aspect where like I don't want to give too much of it away, but you're basically an agent, kind of like Inceptionist, where instead of going into people's dreams, you can go into people's minds to try to see things. And so there's like regrets that you have to fight. There's like emotional baggage that you have to connect, but like it's done in a very simple, fun way, with great art. And like I'm just getting into it, and the story so far is really cool and kind of hooked me. So I highly recommend Psychonauts 2.
Yeah,
Highly recommend.
I've heard that that word a lot, so I'm talking about it for sure.
Yeah, and then Ascent. Have you heard of this before I get into it?
I think I've. I mean, this is an Xbox deal too, right? It's like it's an FPS type thing.
It's so the way I like to think of it is it's kind of like Diablo 3 or Diablo 2. It's like a Diablo 3 set in a cyberpunk world,
Okay.
multiplayer. And it's just like there's so much like so Court and I have started playing it together. Like that was the whole reason because I think it's on Game Pass, and so we said, hey, let's looking for a new game to play together. Let's both download this. And there's so much to do, and it's so fun. You're leveling up. You're finding different weapons, but again, it's that Diablo style like co-op, but the next gen
Just
graphics and the cyberpunk.
accumulate. Just accumulate
Yeah,
shit.
but we haven't even like accumulated much. Like it's been so much more about the story so far, even though there's been a lot of action. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think right now it's like a great balance between, not too much story where it's just a story, not too much like shoot 'em up like that. It's like a nice balance so far. But yeah, I think it has potential. Early signs are good.
Word. That's another one I feel like I've heard the word a lot. It's a relatively recent release, is it not?
Yeah, it's only been released in the last month. Yep, I believe.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard about that one as well.
But
Word,
yeah,
word.
that's pretty much it. I've been dabbling in some different VR games as Courtney will find them, but nothing that's hooked me yet. I do want to buy um Saints and Sinners, I think it's called, the Walking Dead VR game. That I definitely want to get into. I used to love that franchise, watch this, the series for like 6 seasons or whatever. So being able to do that in VR sounds exciting. I think I'm gonna pick that up next. So that would
Yeah,
be the next thing I talk about.
that's one I've heard. If you're into shooters, I hear it's a good one. That one and what's that? Population One or some shit like that. Um, I'm pretty sure it's called Population One or something very close to that. That is also a pretty good shooter, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to spend more money. I'm like I have Game Pass, like I don't, but it's like
That's the
this is a
that's tough,
unique
dude.
experience.
Dude, I've spent uh, so much money on.
Facebook
Uh,
thanks you.
yeah,
The gaming ecosystem thanks you.
yeah. Yeah, Mark is definitely hit a profit center with me.
So what are you jamming on then? What is this? We
uh,
got this new background behind you.
yeah, well, that's obviously putt putt. That's not new information, and I'll get to that in a moment. The new thing that I probably spent the most time on is real VR fishing, and first of all, I can't believe they don't
See,
spell.
I'm look how I'm looking at you right now.
Say again.
I was just saying, look how I'm looking at you. What are
Oh,
we like? Explain VR.
it was so scathing that the fucking internet just shut down for a second because you showed me that. Yeah, so I mean, it's dude, I was skeptical because I've been seeing this game since I got the thing, and like I'm mildly intrigued by fishing. We've talked about that before. So, and it's rated like off the fucking charts. So I've been piqued by it since I got the headset. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same. Like, how much fun can fishing possibly be, right? How engaging can that possibly be? So I've been hesitant to get it. But yeah, the first thing I would say is I can't believe they resisted the urge, and I am so proud of them, to name it REEL instead of REAL fishing. So I'm very proud of them for avoiding that pun. I don't even know if that's a pun, but whatever.
Slightly on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of them for doing that. In any event, this fucking thing is really well done, dude. It's like the physics and the mechanics of the actual fishing are fucking great and spot on. And like, even I'm still playing. I was actually did a putt party last night with the Rough Talk VR guys, and their one guy Stratus they're doing a review of this that's dropping this week actually. So they've been playing the shit out of it, and he's been playing on the hard mode. And he said, he was explaining to me the differences, and so this gets ramped up even further when you play on hard mode, which I have not done yet. But the physics and like there's like a little meter thing that you have to keep. Obviously the fish is fighting once you hook it, and like you have to the meter they use to that you have to kind of keep the balance between the two thresholds of is really well done and feels really good. And they add in these little things that I don't know. It's just it requires you. I'm surprised at how engaged I have to be, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like my expectation with it would be kind of turnkey, just fish, just throw the thing out and like Animal Crossing. It's kind of almost, I mean, I expected more nuance than that, but I did not anticipate I would have to stay so focused and be so satisfied with that focus as I have been playing this game. So on top of that, just, the basic aspect of the game, the basic core element of the game, there's also a whole bunch of really cool ancillary shit that keep you interested and invested in the game, and just like kind of the game environment even. So that there's of course you fish. There's a bunch of different types of fish. You get experience. You level up. You have to choose. Even with like every fish you catch, you have to choose between either taking experience, and that's by releasing the fish, like catch and release, or getting money that allows you to buy shit in the shop, in which case you get no experience, so you don't level up that way. So just even that forces you to kind of make decisions and about your build and like what's more important to you, and that's kind of interesting to have like a little bit of an economy in the game. But so there's a shop, of course, where you buy rods, reels, tackle, boats, like all sorts of shit. And then there's avatar aesthetics bullshit as always, and that's kind of wildly overpriced in my opinion, and only mildly interesting to me. But there's also trophies, goals. So like it operates out of this. You have this lake cabin. So like that's kind of the thing. Like it's not just you don't like turn it on and you're just fishing. Like it's a world. They spent the time and made the effort to make it an environment. Like you were at a vacation lake cabin that you have and that you can furnish eventually, and there's a fucking big ass fish tank in it that you can keep fish in and stock like a shit ton of fish too, and decorate. There's like a porch you can go out onto and just sit out there if you want and look out at it. I mean, that's the thing too. It's hard to argue. I think that it's the most beautiful game on the system. It's like a very real aesthetic, and it looks very, very good compared to anything I've seen on that headset. So it's beautiful. And yeah, you can just sit out there and just fucking like hang out. And like that's the thing. Like so there's this multiplayer element to it where people, it's just like a party kind of like some of those just chat apps that they have on that headset where you can just hang out together and do dumb shit. Like that's kind of the vibe they built into this, where you can just invite people over to your cabin and then you guys go fishing, or you can hang out in the cabin and fuck around and I don't even, just talk if you want, because your avatars are, physically in the space and everything. So, but you can go fishing together at certain spots and like, fucking I went with Amy a few times. She's in Italy right now. We fished with her in Italy, and like literally you just go out there. Like some of the fishing spots you're on boats, some of them you're on just on the bank of a pond or a lake, or eventually you get to, I haven't gotten that far yet, but there's a saltwater. Once you get to level 16, you can go saltwater fishing out on the ocean, and that's like a whole different thing, I'm sure. With there's sharks and shit you can catch. But you go out together and like you can see them fucking fishing, and you can see them reeling in, and when they pull it up, you hold it up in the air, and like you can like fucking look over and show each other and like fucking point at the fish, it's pretty, it's really it's cute in how social they made it, you know what I mean? And you can take pictures too. You can like take like, we've got pictures of us like holding up fish. Like one of us is taking the selfie with their camera, and we got both of us in the picture. It's cool, dude. It's really well done, the social aspect of it. And there's shit ton. Like I said, I haven't even gotten to the saltwater stuff. And there's like, the interesting thing is the whole thing. It's set real world places. It's all in Korea. I want to say South Korea, probably. But yeah, so that's its own thing. So like the whole physical space is actual locations in Korea, and that's like one of the things they say they're building is a U.S. based map too that will eventually be available at some point. But so yeah, this is all these fishing spots. I've unlocked maybe half of them, probably not. And there's some of them are night spots, some of them are raining, some of them are daytime, some of them are sunsets, and there's different goals and shit for each type of area. It's just there's just a lot to it, a lot of layers that make it more than just what you would just fishing. You know what I mean? And like I said, and just the fishing is good too. And like I said, I think there's like a fish finder thing that you can do, so you know where to cast your reel, and you're not just sitting there waiting like so much of fishing can be. But the hard mode eliminates that, and then you have to do it the right way, and like all the meters go away, I guess, and you have to do it all because it's got haptic response too. So you have to be able to ascertain what these feelings mean and how to react to them in order to actually get shit into the boat or caught. So yeah, but yeah, it's just, there's just a lot to it, man. It's way more to it than I expected. Way more to it. And you talked about just being able to jump in and jump out, like something quick. Like there's no, I can't fathom there's anything. Even Beat Saber probably is more of a time commitment. Technically, you could fire this fucking thing up and go catch one fish if you wanted, and turn it off, and you would not lose anything or be incomplete in any way by doing that. So there's legitimately no time commitment to it at all. It's very much just drop in, drop out. Yeah, it's very well done, and it's I understand you hate fishing, but I think it's worth at least taking a look at. And I think it's a reduced price too. I want to say it's only like $15 or $20 too. It's not even their high watermark price, so it's not terribly expensive.
That's still steep for fishing. I don't know.
It's not just fishing. Like I said, it's not just
I'm
fishing.
impressed. You've definitely painted a picture. Maybe I'll actually click on the preview this time and get a feel for it, because I haven't even gone that far. So
I know I'm sure I watched that preview. I think I watched that preview and still wasn't sold. And eventually it was like I needed something to do. I think I was waiting for something to download that was taking forever, and I was just like bored, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just it's not like I was going to get the fishing game before the other one downloaded, but it was literally just I was just bored in the OS waiting for something to download, and I was finally just like fuck it, and bought it, because I was bored in the OS. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's cool. In any event, so been playing that periodically, and then Amy and I were looking for a co-op thing, so we downloaded this game called, and I would, this is really good, dude. I would highly you looking for something to do with Courtney? I fucking highly recommend this game. It is so cute and good. It's called Carly and the Reaper Man, and it is a real-time co-op puzzle game. So one person controls the little girl that's actually in the world, and the other controls the Reaper. And the Reaper is a godlike character that looms above and looks down on everything and has to manipulate blocks and platforms real time to help the little girl navigate through the world. And it's really well done, dude. It's kind of got like the theme of the game, or the theme of the environment, kind of has this Beetlejuice vibe to it.
Okay.
You know, just kind of like fun, quirky afterlife stuff, you know? So that's like the aesthetic vibe to it. And then there's this, it reminds me a bit of the Spiritfarer story. If you remember me talking about that at all, I don't think you ever fucked with it, but yeah, it's kind of like this. You're trying to help these spirits in the afterlife with some sort of problem in a lot of cases, you know? And every one of them is, or every world is, to do that, you have to accomplish these, you know, I don't even know where to begin with all the different, you know, sometimes like very early on, it's just like, move this block over here so she can jump on the block and get on the next thing. Then, you know, you start moving platforms around so they can walk across something. And then, you know, there's some things that only you can see and they can't. And you kind of have to communicate to them in the space where they can go that's safe, you know. There's just a lot, it's a lot of really, and they get, of course, more complex as you proceed through the game. So yeah, really cute, and really like the co-op aspect of it is fucking dope, man. It's really well done. So yeah, I highly recommend that if you're looking for a co-op something or other. And yeah, I played a lot of Demio, of course, and Walkabout Putt Putt, and yeah, I started got all fucking into that. I was looking around for podcasts, and I found that Rough Talk VR one, and started just bullshitting with them, interfacing with them on the social apps and shit. And they got a Discord as well, or not a Discord. I'm sorry, they do have a Discord probably too. I can't remember, but they have a Reddit, a subreddit, and just poking around in there. When they started posting shit about, they did Walkabout Mini Golf a week or two ago. After I literally I bitched at them because they hadn't done it. You know, I went through their entire catalog, and I'm like, VR, because Walkabout Mini Golf was following them on Twitter. And I was like, they follow you on Twitter. How have you not done this amazing fucking game yet? You know, and they literally did it like a week later. So, I've actually been bullshitting a lot with this because they just dropped their new course on Thursday. Mighty Coconut is the name of the developer of the putt-putt game, and so they've been, you know, very active on fucking socials and shit. And I've been fucking tweeting back and forth with them about the new course and stuff. So they're pretty active and engaging in general. But yeah, I mean, like I weighed in, like they fucking were talking shit too. Like yeah, and then, like they actually fucked something up when they dropped the episode. They fucked something up about, you can I think you did it when we were playing. You can accidentally hit the ball if you're not paying attention, you know. So, which I didn't even know, and I still don't use it because I just taught myself to not ever drop my putter unless I'm about to go. But I think you can hold the trigger and it makes your putter unable to hit the ball. So if you hold your trigger at all times until you're going to go, like I actually watch some players, some of the better ones actually will use that to kind of like size up their shot and like actually go all the way through the motion as like part of the thing and just let go of the trigger when they want the next one to actually hit it, you know. So but yeah, you can do that to avoid that problem. And I guess they didn't know that, as I didn't know it actually until this happened until whatever. But yeah, they fucked it up, and like people started bitching at them. I think maybe the developer included, so they like issued a public apology. It was pretty funny for that, because that was close to, I think, their only criticism of the game was that you can accidentally hit the ball, you know, because it's a fucking perfect video game. But in any event, my point of this is we started bullshitting the subreddit, and we a couple of other listeners proposed doing a scheduled mandate of playing the game. So the past two Friday nights at 10 Eastern, we have got together and planned to get together, all five of us, and we go in and we play putt-putt together. And we, of course, this last night did the new course they just released, Coyote Valley. And yeah, man, Coyote Valley is fucking hot, man. Like, it's this new wind mechanic they put in the back nine, and you can actually, you can see what it is. It's got like, there's like little wind wisp trails, and they also have rose petals that kind of blow with it too, also to kind of help you understand what the physics what's gonna happen with the ball. But even, it just adds such a layer of complexity and difficulty you know, but not like annoying difficulty. It's like, again, as everything with the game, the physics are so good in that game that no matter what the environmental challenge, with practice and understanding, you can get good at it. You know what I mean? And that's that's incredible. And even with this win thing, that's the case. So yeah, I played it maybe like a half dozen times now, maybe one or two more than that, and it's fucking hard, man. Like it's played a game last night, and there was like, I think hole 9 it was. I was fucking, when we were playing the first one we played as a group, like this, I had played this course a half dozen times already, and like something was happening, and like it fucking happened like 4 or 5 times in a row, and just crashed my entire game because I had like a 6-stroke hole on this one fucking hole, and like one of the dudes is really fucking good in the group, and last week, you know, we fucking, I think, yeah, he won by 1 stroke. We played Cherry Blossoms last week. He won by 1 stroke. Everyone else had to split afterwards. He and I stayed on and played literally until my headset died. And we ended up, I think we split 2 more games, and then my headset died on the 3rd one that I was winning. So like highly competitive with this dude. And last night, fucking, you know, I was playing. I was the only one that had played it, so I was going in like, I'm gonna whoop these motherfuckers asses, because I like, you know, I know shit. And like this dude was fucking killing. He had a hole in one. He just like was killing it on the first. Maybe he lied about having played it. I don't know. But anyways, well, we got to hole 9, and like I had a fucking bunch of fucked up shit happen on this one hole, the windmill hole, where the bat, like there's 2 windmill holes where you have to actually like, use the windmill blades in your shots, and the second one you have to use it to get down off this hill. And for some reason I was coming off of it and bouncing over this fucking lip, and like I was just so furious, dude. And like, you know, play with this group of people, like we played 2 weeks now, and like I've interfaced with these dudes on social media, but I don't know them. I don't want to be like I'm such a fucking emotional dude when it comes to shit. Like, I'm highly competitive, so like I'm like in my headset like trying to like I'm like trying to be cool and like even keeled without like basically don't be a whiny bitch. But I was so upset. Right. Because like I had played this course, I didn't understand why this was happening. Yeah, I was so fucking pissed off. Anyway, it's a great course, and we got to play, dude. It's there's a whole new, of course, new balls to hunt for too, and that's fucking dope. I'm excited about that. I got maybe I think 11 of the 18 I found, so
it's been too long since I played, so I'm down.
Yeah, you do. You gotta. It's so you got to get good at it. You know, it's not gonna be fun until you're good at it. Because
I mean, I'm naturally amazing at putt-putt. So just
sure. Well, that gives you a leg
up. I think it'll be fine.
It's a whole different level of, you know, because those courses are insane, you know. So you have to like learn the nuances, and like once you get good, and you're not scared to like start using math, man. Like, you know, trying to figure out like the very specific bounces and shit to like get the most efficient run of a course. Like it is so engaging, because once you get into that kind of minutia, you're like testing shit out and fucking experimenting. And like when you find something that's like a new solution to cut a stroke off a fucking hole, you're like, fucking so satisfying. Such a great game. So yeah, that's it on the VR front. I actually, you know, I kind of was thinking about it. I was actually considering, I was like, should I sell my Xbox?
Blasphemy.
Yeah. You know, like they're still, I think, relatively hard to get. Like this is the high watermark on the market for right now. And I was like, and I don't ever touch this fucking thing now. Do I even want to touch it? Like I was seriously thinking, like, should I sell this motherfucker right now? Because I had not touched it, you know, at all since we last recorded. And I got wind. I listened to, there's this Kane and Rince podcast I listened to that did, and this game had been on my radar for a while, but it wasn't on Game Pass last time I had it brought to my attention, and they did an episode on it, and it is on Game Pass now, so I ended up downloading it and fucking with it. But Hypno Outlaw, have you heard of this game?
I have not. Do tell.
Yeah, it's a great title, right? I fuck it up every time. I was telling Jab to download it because it's right in his wheelhouse, I think. And I was telling him Hypno Cowboy, and he's like, "What? Like I can't find anything." I'm like, no. It's like, Outlaw. I'm like, oh yeah, Cowboy Outlaw, whatever. So tough name to remember. Anyways, so it is, dude. It's soul crushingly brilliant and creative. I don't know if it's fun. I can't figure out whether I think it's fun. But I know that it is brilliant and creative. Maybe the most I've ever seen in a video game. Like it is just I don't even know. Like the idea I don't think it's a big developer either. The idea that a few people sat down and figured this out and created this thing is just crazy to me. But anyways, the whole game occurs on a kind of a Windows-esque desktop computer interface from the late 90s. So it's actually got a date. I think that the date in the game is, at least with the start, I'm sure it progresses, but I think it's November 5th, 1999. So that's when the game is set, right? And yeah, the whole thing happens. You're just looking at a computer monitor essentially, and everything in the game happens on that computer monitor. So Hypnospace in the title, that is a company that developed a VR, fictional company that developed a VR-like technology that allows your subconscious to interact with the internet and people on it while you sleep. So the idea, like their whole marketing kick is, you can now, like, think about all that time you waste in your life where you're sleeping. Now it can be productive, and your subconscious has its own life essentially, or your subconscious avatar has its own life and productivity capability in this virtual space while you sleep. So that's just, it's in of itself is a crazy, like, exactly, like, nope, never heard that before.
Right?
So it's just like the core concept, the core idea is already wildly brilliant and creative. But like I said, so it's all happening on this desktop, right? And you work for this company. Your character has just been hired by this company as a kind of internet cop. So you use the desktop tools of this terminal at the company to traverse all these wacky ass personal web pages. So you have to be of a very certain age to even understand what the fuck I'm talking about here. But think GeoCities or Angel Fire web pages.
Oh man.
So just like, no filter, no one's ever, just there's no, just no one knew how to use the internet. And it was just like handing someone tools to make their own thing in an environment that has no expectations or regulation creates just calamity, and like web pages are, if you remember that time, people it was just the most insane, unfiltered expression of people's selves in digital format. And I was fascinated by it. I was programming at like 1450. The second I had a fucking dial-up connection that I could use at will and a computer that could achieve it, I was like fucking into it. I was making Buffalo Bills websites. The Buffalo Stampede. The Buffalo Stampede was my Bills website, which I have tried. I have combed. Do you know the Way Back Machine? Or maybe it's just called the Way Back Machine. So it's on the Internet Archive, and it's essentially for much of the internet, I don't know how they achieved this, but for much of the internet, they were able to take snapshots of like websites at certain times throughout the 90s and 2000s. So you can essentially go back to URLs at that time and look at what they looked like then. And, a lot of the shit is available through that. And I've looked so hard to find my website on there because I know it was on GeoCities, but I don't remember any of the other bullshit for it, unfortunately. So I've tried so hard to find it. I ended up running through that and like trying to like join up with other websites and like just like to accumulate traffic or whatever. I ended up working with this website, NFLfans.net, and like running the league-wide website, and then my Bills website became the Buffalo Bills arm of, we had a website for every team, So like I ended up running this ring of websites, and like that one is actually available. I can find that. NFLfans.net I found it on the Way Back Machine. And it is just like, I don't know. I want to crawl in a hole. I want to crawl in a hole. It's just so insane how, I don't know, how rudimentary it is. Even going and look at like ESPN at that time will blow your fucking mind, In any event, that's a tangent, of course. But so that's the kind of websites you're traversing here, and you're looking for. You have an email client, a web browser, a little notepad app, an MP3 player. Like as far as your desktop tools go, you're just literally clicking on these things and just doing shit. And you go to your email, you get an email from the company, and they assign you a case, and you take the clues or the known facts they have about whatever it is you're looking for, and then you go out and you just start hunting around in this rudimentary ass web browser. And, you know, I don't know, man, the tone and lack of refinement of the late 90s internet is just captured so fucking well in this thing. It's crippling, dude. It's so good and creative and just so fucking great, man. It's so well fucking done. And like even the tutorial you do in the beginning is it's like those full motion videos from like the thing I think of most, probably because my exposure to it was so extensive, but Civilization 2, the advisors in Civilization 2, if you played that game at all to know, it's like these really shitty little they're like the size of a stamp videos, you know, that just, they're all pixelated, fucking horrible looking, but video on your computer that was real time, even for like 7 seconds, like mind blown in 1996, you know what I mean? So that they nailed that with these videos of like the training stuff, and they have just like stock video footage of like some guy hammering something or something, and he looks like he's a guy in the 90s at some shitty factory hammering something. It just is, everything about it aesthetically and tonally is just fucking perfect. And if you, I'm like I said, if you didn't live through this and you weren't of the right age, the formative age in those probably 95 to 2000, this game probably just blows. There's no way for you to relate to it. But if you did live through that age or through that time in that age, I don't know how you couldn't just be fascinated with it. You know what I mean? Because it's just such a perfect encapsulation of that time, that thing, you know. It's so fucking well done. But like I said, I'm not sure if it's funny. It's kind of, you're just like clicking around and like you're trying to find clues, and like you're going through, you know, especially I'm only a couple cases into it. So like, you know, I know I've heard a lot about the narrative. I haven't let myself to go through spoiler gates or anything, but I've heard the narrative for it is apparently, you know, fucking incredible, you know. So, you know, it definitely deals in, because like, you know, you're, like I said, you're an internet cop, so it deals in, you know, a lot of kind of privacy issues, you know, socio-political issues about privacy, and like how much should you be able to police this space. And like, I know the story, your role in that ecosystem, you the character in the game, your role becomes significant, and you have to make choices that, you know, put into question whether or not this company should have this policing capability, I think, you know. So and, you know, you have these, you know, these people who run these websites are people, so you can interact with these people in the game. You know, it's just great. It's intense, man. It's a really, really heady, interesting, and like I said, aesthetically pleasing. If you know, you're familiar with that era, it's really interesting. But it sucks that I have to turn on my Xbox to play it. I wish it was on VR.